The collapse begins. For months, Venezuela had been on edge. The economy was near total failure. Sanctions were tightening, and cracks were forming inside the ruling elite. Senior military commanders, once loyal to Maduro, began holding secret meetings without him. What changed was not ideology, but survival. International pressure made it clear: those who stayed loyal would face sanctions, indictments, and financial ruin. Those who stepped away might be spared. The night of silence. In the early hours of the morning, just before dawn, internet access slowed. Key military units were redeployed. Airspace over Caracas was quietly restricted. There were no tanks in the streets, no gunfire, no public announcement. Miraflores Palace remained lit, but isolated. The order. Inside the palace, Maduro was informed that several senior generals had resigned their loyalty. Moments later, a delegation of high-ranking officers entered with a sealed arrest order issued by a newly declared transitional constitutional authority. The charges included, in this fictional scenario, crimes against humanity, systematic human rights violations, large-scale corruption, abuse of constitutional power. Maduro demanded to speak to the military leadership. No one answered. The arrest. With no units willing to defend him, Maduro was officially placed under arrest. There was no resistance. He was handcuffed, escorted through a secured corridor, and placed into a military vehicle under heavy guard. State television went off the air minutes later. By sunrise, Venezuela woke up to silence. The announcement. At 6 a.m., all major radio and television channels broadcast a single message. The armed forces of Venezuela have acted to preserve constitutional order. Nicolás Maduro Moros has been detained. Citizens are urged to remain calm. The message was repeated every 15 minutes. The streets react. As news spread, Caracas erupted with emotion. Some people celebrated openly, waving flags, crying, embracing strangers. Others stayed indoors, fearful of what might come next. Years of political trauma had taught Venezuelans to be cautious, even in moments of hope. International shockwaves. Global reaction was immediate. The United Nations called for restraint and due process. The United States and EU acknowledged the transition cautiously. Maduro's allies demanded emergency diplomatic meetings. Markets fluctuated. Oil prices jumped. Latin America held its breath. Where was he taken? In this simulated scenario, Maduro was transferred to a secure military facility outside Caracas. Officials refused to confirm whether he would face a domestic trial or international extradition. His exact location was not disclosed. What comes next? The arrest raised questions with no immediate answers. Who governs Venezuela now? Will elections follow or instability? Will justice be real or symbolic? For supporters, it was betrayal. For critics, it was long-delayed accountability. For Venezuela, it was uncertainty. Final note. In this fictional scenario, Nicolás Maduro did not fall to bullets or crowds, but to silence, isolation, and the moment power quietly left the room.